Without further ado, I'd like to welcome our guest today, Mr. Jeffrey Carter from Daiquiri 23. He is on the line and ready to pop another knowledge drop on us. So, welcome, JC. What's happening, brother?
Everything. Everything's always happening in Panama, especially when I'm involved. So I kind of like that. Um, every day is a new day. Um, every day has new challenges, new hurdles, um, and I'm sure we're going to talk about some of the ones we haven't had a chance to talk about because every day is a new day, and that's a new challenge and a new um, view, uh, and how we need to make a mind shift and what we're coming to Panama to do, and then because we'll end up doing something different than what uh, we had planned to do. Some of us will, others won't.
Copy that. Copy that. So, without further ado, on just the whole migration that has taken place and all the visitors that are coming down and people wanting to know more about, why Panama, what made you make the choice, how's it, how's life down here, what do they use for currency, yada yada yada, and so on. Uh, People just have to you know come down and see for themselves to see how the culture is inviting, uh, and more laid back, a slower pace of life, but still having all the qualities of home. So, what do you tell people when they ask you what made you choose Panama?
Um, I tell them that I've lived in and worked in several different continents, and that allowed me to decompress, to renew my mind and how I was thinking about, why the United States and why not these other countries. So that was important to me. And then when I started to experience all the good things and how people treated me and how they identified me in other countries, they never identified me as the United States identified me on my IDs and things like that. And they really considered me as their family from America. And I mean, when I'm in India, when I'm in, not China so much, but they treated me well there. Especially when I'm in Africa, on the different countries there, and then when I'm in the Middle East, it was just a total different vibe. Meaning that when they asked, "What nationality are you?" it says United States of America. It gives the country that actually you're attached to, born and raised. They use that country as a whole to identify your nationality, not as a color, not as a so-called name that they give the people of color. Uh, but that's a good feeling coming from where we are coming from, born and raised, and still not identified as United States of American citizens. And so around the world, we're treated differently. So I chose Panama based on those experiences and good and bad. I chose Panama because of being military benefits, health care as I get older, cost of living, can live comfortably off of my retirement. And I chose Panama for those reasons. But then those reasons changed once I hit the ground. I started seeing the poverty level and the income levels, the low income levels of people living in Panama. And it wasn't exciting. It wasn't depressing. It was like, what can I do? I had a different mindset. How can I help? And then I went into that mode. And then that's kind of where the creation of becoming a business owner and paying into the tax system and helping people with their retirement, Social Security, and just understanding what can I do.
Right,
So
right.
that's kind of what led me to choose Panama because I feel that I can fit in to the community more so than any other country.
And what would you say to some of those individuals that are just saying, "Hey, I've been working for 30, 40 years. I just want to retire, uh, and then figure it all out."
I would tell them um, that this is an opportunity to come here and be your best you, even in your older age, and be comfortable and enjoy life. Still have the ability to go out and enjoy life amongst people like yourselves. Communicate with people on your level because they're all mostly retired and they're all going through the same thing mentally, physically, health wise. They're going all in the same boat together, and they've all survived the Holocaust, I'll call it that, of the United States, with no recognition of not a negative standpoint. That is a testimony because the people of other races that have those similar experiences, those are their testimony that they did survive a horrendous situation and their families survived and they're survivors of horrendous situations. But look how we turned out.
Exactly. Exactly. Right. And you don't have to be a certain race to actually feel what a lot of Afro Americans have felt. If you're a woman and you had to climb that corporate ladder, you know what you went through in order to accomplish that. But it's like 10x when it comes to being Afro, especially in the States. So it's definitely a place where you can decompress, uh, learn how to relax. I mean, there's a transition you'll go through, excuse me, just due to being in a different environment where you're not being watched every moment around every corner or going into the stores and stuff like that. So uh, it's something that you have to acclimate yourself to, and getting with others that have already relocated can definitely help you do that. So, what do you say to those men that they're looking to retire, they want to relax, but they want to do something. They still want to be active. Maybe they want to see if they can get into something entrepreneurial or just trying to figure out where can they go or or do something to keep themselves active, business wise, or even just maybe being in the background but still utilizing some of their skills traits that they have.
Well, I would say to them, you've gained a lot of knowledge, experience, education that can contribute to the Panama community. You got to figure out how you can actually use that and go into the community and volunteer. We've had people last year volunteer to go into the school system to help the teachers out, 2 days a week. But there was five of them, so they took a round robin approach. One person would go in and do 1 day a week or 2 days a week, and the other person will do the same. So there's so many different opportunities that can assist in education, that can assist if you're an engineer, if you're an electrical engineer, come and get involved with the code of international code of electricity and USA code of electricity, because you still have some appliances that are 220 and need to be 110. So come and get involved with that, ground fault breaker systems, showing them how to hook that up through the panels. There's a lot of things that you can do from a mechanical standpoint if you're an engineer, if you're a CPA, if you're an attorney. There's so many, and a doctor, a nurse. Don't let it go to waste. Those things are needed, especially in a country like Panama, especially when people in Panama, if they don't have insurance, they have to pay out of pocket, meaning that they don't work, and that means they have no insurance unless somebody they're married to pays into Social Security so they can have insurance. So there's so many different things that they can do to stay active here, and sometimes it's best to have a partner. A lot of people are coming here single, and that's one thing we'll get into a little bit more. They're coming here single, so they don't have family support. They don't have anything. So that's why it's very good for them to get involved into a positive community environment to where that they can come out and release some stress. I don't care if it's playing a game of spades, be it whiz or domino. Come and release that stress. Come and get in somebody's face and talk trash and be smiling with them. So they got to be able to stay alive, and that's what Panama gives them the opportunity to do, is be in better shape by walking. No, in neighborhoods that you are very comfortable in, because where we live at is very comfortable. It's very safe.